I'm so excited to finally be filming a video for you guys. It has been forever. It feels like forever. It's definitely been forever. I've been gone for a long time. I did a lot of traveling over the past couple of weeks. I was in Aruba and I also went back home to New York to visit with my family, and so I have been all over the place traveling, and before I left I was working like crazy, and I did have some videos filmed and ready to edit while I was on vacation, and I was looking over the footage and they were just not good, you guys. They were not good. The lighting was off and just the quality was bad, and for me personally, I'd rather wait and put out a video that I'm proud of than just put something up on the internet just to have, something for you guys to see. And I know I wasn't posting on here or on Instagram, but I was posting a ton on Snapchat. It's just such an easy way to stay connected with everybody and to show what you're doing right in that moment. So if you guys don't follow me on there, I will leave my name listed somewhere on the screen, so you can go ahead and follow me on Snapchat if you're interested. That's why I've been gone for so long. I had a couple people reach out to me and ask me if I was no longer making videos, and I felt terrible. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to film as soon as possible. I'm still making YouTube videos whenever I can. Whenever I have the free time, I'm going to be filming and editing. I love making these videos. It's so fun, and I love interacting with you guys, and I have truly, truly missed it, and I'm just so excited to finally be back on camera and filming. Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoy this tutorial. This look right here is a look that I wore quite a few times while I was on vacation. I like it because it's neutral colors on the eyes, so you can really pair it with any lip color and it goes with any outfit. A little bit of shimmer with these Makeup Geek foiled eyeshadows that are just some of my favorite eyeshadows ever, and I did use a lot of new products that have been my go-to products for this summer. Anyways, let's get right into this tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, so I'm starting off with my eyebrows already done, and I'm going to be moving on to prepping the eyelids. I'm taking my MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot, and I'm using my Sigma 3D HD brush to apply this all over the lid. You guys know that this step is so important to making sure that your eyeshadows last with no creasing and no fading throughout the day. Now I'm picking up this white eyeshadow from Makeup Geek in the shade White Lies, and I'm just setting the paint pot, and this is just going to ensure that it doesn't crease, and it's also going to help all the other shadows glide on really smoothly. Now I'm taking the shade Fawn by Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's just a neutral brown shade, and I'm using a fluffy blending brush to just blend this back and forth into the crease. You can see I have quite a bit of space between my lid and my actual brow bone, so I will diffuse the product up pretty far, but if you don't have that much space, you can definitely keep this product a little bit lower. Just make sure that you're using back and forth blending motions to make sure that everything is nice and smooth and evened out. After that, I'm going to be picking up my transition color, and this is the shade Beaches and Cream by Makeup Geek, and I'm just going to take the same exact brush, pick up a little bit of product, and you'll see I just dust this right above where the shadow Fawn ends, and this is really going to diffuse the product and make sure that there's no harsh lines in your blending. Here I'm just using a smaller blending brush to just add a little bit more of Fawn into the crease for some extra definition. You'll see I'm just doing the same thing, going back and forth. Once I'm done with that, I'll be taking the shadow from Anastasia in the shade Fudge. This is the most gorgeous brown color. I think it's my favorite brown eyeshadow ever. It's just the perfect shade. It doesn't have too much warmth or too much coolness. It's just a beautiful color. And I'm packing this on the outer corner of the eye, and you'll also see me dusting it up a little bit into the crease and sort of bringing it outwards to elongate the eye and make it look a little bit longer and smokier and just add some dimension and shadow to the eye. So you'll see I'm just packing this on using circular motions to blend. I switched over to the other blending brush. I didn't pick up any more product. I'm just using whatever was left on the brush to just soften the lines, and now I'm just packing on more of the brown shade and just building up the intensity and the pigment and just blending as I go along. I'm using the shade Cream Puff by Morphe, and I'm going to be taking this shadow and using it as my brow bone highlight. You can see it's just a really soft matte cream color. And then I'm using my other brush to just go ahead and, of course, blend out everything. Now I'm taking my favorite Makeup Geek foiled eyeshadow. This is in the shade Starry Eyed. It's a beautiful beige champagne color with pink undertones. It's just absolutely gorgeous, and I'm packing this onto the lid. making sure to pack it on first, and then you can see I blend back and forth. I'm making sure to keep the shade towards the inner corner of the eye because I am going to go in with another Makeup Geek foiled eyeshadow. This one is in the shade Grandstand. It's a beautiful rose gold shadow, and I'm going to be placing this in the middle of Starry Eyed and Fudge, and it's just going to add a really soft transition, a soft ombre effect, and it just adds some more dimension to the eye. It's just absolutely beautiful. I always like to go back and intensify the outer corner of the eye just to make sure that it's nice and pigmented and rich. Then I take a makeup remover wipe and I just clean up any fallout, and I also make sure that the outer edges of the eye are nice and sharp and defined. To make the lid color stand out even more, I picked up a little bit of those foiled eyeshadows and then I sprayed my brush with a setting spray, and this is really going to intensify those shadows. You can see it just really makes them shine and makes the shimmer in them stand out a lot more. So that's a little trick you can do if you feel like your shadows aren't standing out enough. It really helps to intensify. Today I'm doing winged liner, and I'm going to keep this wing pretty simple. I don't want it to be too big because I do not want to take away from those beautiful foiled eyeshadows, so I'm going to keep it pretty small. The liner that I'm using is the NYX Matte Liquid Liner. It's a beautiful liner. I love how it turns out every time I use this product. For lashes today, I'm using my favorite lashes of all time. These are the Koko lashes in the style Amore or Amore. They're just so beautiful, you guys. I swear they give you doll eyes. They just make your eyes look so flirty and big, and I just love them so much. I'm taking this Colourpop eyeliner pencil and just tight lining, and then I used a little bit of mascara. That was the Rimmel Scandal Eyes mascara. Now I'm priming my face using my Makeup Forever Smoothing Primer and moving on to foundation. This is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation in the shade 5.75. I have just absolutely fallen in love with this foundation. I wore this a ton when I was in Aruba, and it completely held up in the heat and the hot weather, so I know that it's good for all different temperatures. And I also used this on my grandma when I was home, so it looks so gorgeous on mature skin. It's just such a universal foundation, and it's definitely lived up to all of my expectations and all of the hype that I've heard about it. So if you've been looking to splurge and invest in a high-end foundation, I would highly recommend checking out this one because I have just truly been loving it. And the sponge that I'm using, by the way, is by Real Techniques. This has been my favorite sponge also recently. Ever since I started using it, I haven't gone back to my beauty blender. No shade at the beauty blender. This one is just so much more affordable and it works beautifully. So that's what I'm using to blend out my foundation. Now I'm taking this liquid bronzer by NARS. This is the Laguna bronzer in the liquid form. This has been another one of my favorites lately, but I only use this when I want like that full glam. I won't do this on my regular like getting ready, going to work. It's just an extra step that's not really necessary, but when I want that extra definition and the extra layers of makeup, especially for film like in photography makeup, that's when it's good to add liquid or creams underneath your powders. So that's what I'm doing here just for an extra glam. I use this pretty much every single night in Aruba because we were taking so many pictures and it just photographed beautifully. As you can see, it blends out like a dream and it just adds that definition to your face, and it has such a natural shade. I would say if you have fair up to medium skin tones, you could probably use this. Anywhere darker than that, it probably wouldn't be a bronzer on you. But as you can see, I'm just taking the smallest amount of product and then dotting it around the areas that I want it to be placed and just simply blending it out with my beauty sponge. And I just do that in the areas that I would normally add powder bronzer. Moving on to my Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector. As you can see, this product is definitely loved because I'm almost out of it. But I just love to use this to cover up dark circles. It has a beautiful salmon undertone, so it's really great at correcting those dark colors underneath the eyes. So I just apply a little bit and then blend it out with the Beauty Blender. You can see it makes such a difference. Look at how much brighter the one eye is than the other. So I just use a little bit. It's also a great primer for concealer. And moving on to concealer, this is the Urban Decay Naked Skin, and I'm using two different shades, light neutral, and then I'm putting a little bit of light warm just on top of that for some extra brightness. And of course, doing the same thing as always, just using my beauty blender to just blend that out. The reason why my concealer is lighter than my foundation is because I'm also using it to highlight the center of my face. If I was using it to correct age spots or blemishes or anything like that, you would want to use a concealer that's the same shade as your foundation. But since I'm using it to highlight, you can see it's a little bit lighter. So I'm just going to apply it towards the center of my face, so underneath the eyes. You'll also see me put some on my chin, down the center of my nose, and up onto my forehead, and that's because when you highlight, you want to make sure that everything is balanced. You don't want to have super bright under eyes and then no highlight anywhere else because your face won't look proportioned. So that's the reason why you want to balance out your highlight. You want to make sure that you set your concealer so that way it doesn't move around or crease throughout the day. For this step, I'm using my RCMA No Color Powder, but you can use whatever translucent powder that you have. And once I'm done setting the concealer, I'm just going to take a larger fluffy brush and just pick up the smallest amount of product and dust it all over the other parts of my face. This is just going to make sure that when I go in with bronzer and blush and highlight that those powders glide smoothly on top of the foundation. Moving on to my favorite bronzer at the moment, you guys, this is such a beautiful bronzer. It's by Laura Geller. It's her Baked bronzer in the shade Medium, and I'm using an angled brush to just contour and bronze at the same time. So going into the hollows of the cheekbones, but then you'll also see me bring it up right onto the apples of the cheeks because I want to bring that warmth back into the face as well. You'll also see me bring the bronzer up onto my forehead and just sort of blending it all around the outside of my face. Bronzer is just so important. It really brings the face to life and just adds so much warmth to the skin, and I just love it. It's such an important step, and it's nice when you finally learn how to do it correctly because it makes such a difference in your overall appearance. But I'm telling you guys, if you haven't tried this bronzer, please go and try it. Like I said, it is a baked product, and these are made in Italy, so they're really nice products, and it has a luminosity to it that it keeps since it's a baked formula. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I got so many questions in Aruba. What bronzer are you wearing? How come you look so tan? Oh my gosh, what bronzer is that? And it was every single time that I wore this bronzer. So I haven't put it down. I am in love with it, and I just don't see myself using any other bronzer since I found this. Moving on to this beautiful palette from Becca and Jaclyn Hill, I'm going to be taking Rosé, Spritz, and Amaretto and mixing these two blushes together and just applying them to my cheeks. These have been my go-to favorite blushes. I haven't used anything else ever since I got this palette. It's just taken over my life. This entire palette has just seriously taken over my makeup routine. It's the only thing that I use for my blush and my highlight recently. After I apply my blush, I always take my Duo Fiber brush from Sigma. This is like a life-saving brush. I talked about it in my brush favorites, and I just make sure that everything is blended. That literally makes your skin look airbrushed. Now I'm mixing Champagne Pop and Prosecco Pop and just highlighting the high points of my face. So the very tops of my cheekbones. I love to highlight the end of my nose. I don't know why. I think it's so cute. I just love when people do a nose highlight, and then just highlighting above the brows as well, just to add some shimmer from every angle. Now I'm taking this shimmery eyeshadow from Anastasia. This is in the shade Soft Gold. I believe that's the name of it. If it's not, I'll leave the correct name in the description box as always. But I just love to highlight the inner corners of my eye. I feel like I can't do makeup now without highlighting the inner corner of my eyes. I don't know why. I just love doing this step, and that has been my favorite go-to shadow to do that. Now I'm taking a little bit of Fudge on a pencil brush and just blending that shadow on the lower lash line and smoking it out. Spraying my face with two different setting sprays, my Skindinavia setting spray, and then also some MAC Fix Plus for a little bit of luminosity, some lower lash mascara, and now I'm lining my lips with this Jordana lip pencil. I can't remember the name of it. It was like called Plum or something. Now I'm taking this matte lipstick by NYX. I'll also leave the names of all these lip products in the description. And then this Butter Gloss by NYX as well. I just wanted to do a soft ombre berry colored lip. So that's what I did here. And then I'm just taking my hair out of this clip. And my clip fell on the floor, so that's what that face is for. And I decided I wanted to straighten my hair because I was not having the best hair day. So this is the finished look. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so happy to be back and filming for you guys. Let me know if you have any suggestions for upcoming videos. And thanks again. I will see you guys very soon. Bye!